Welcome to the latest edition of Career Videos by the Knowledge Academy. Our today's video is about the top 7 Microsoft Azure Security Practices in 2022. Consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and enabling that bell icon next to it so that you would never miss out on any of the informative content that we put out. So without further ado, let's take a look at the agenda for this video. Initially, we will be going through the PAWs, and then encryption and data security, after which storage and database will be covered. Then we will see the workloads, virtual machines, cloud network, and compliance. Benefit 1. Security practices with Azure Privileged Access Workstations. Everyone uses the internet to browse information across many websites today. While many websites are secure and safe to use, there are websites that contain malware and can easily access all your data. While you may not understand which website is secure and which is not, meanwhile hackers may infuse malware and gain access to your private data. To overcome this challenge, using workstations could be a perfect solution. Microsoft Azure offers Privileged Access Workstations, or PAWs, to protect the operating system from the outside threats. These workstations protect from phishing attacks, application vulnerabilities, and operating system flaws. Businesses are provided with dedicated workstations, Privileged Access Workstations that is, for privileged operations. In their PAWs, users access privileged accounts through a Privileged Access Management or PAM platform that manages all the permissions and access rights. Microsoft recommends that its users access privileged accounts via special operating systems or device. Managing the PAW's privileged access will require the use of special software tools. The PAM systems include things like analytics, access controls, monitoring, and password vaults. The PAM solutions provide the information history of who accessed the accounts and for how long and for what purposes, etc. Benefit 2. Encryption and data security. As you know, the greatest threat to the security is data breaches. A data breach is when the information is taken from a system without the owner's knowledge. For any service of Azure that you use to share and store sensitive data, you should follow these procedures. Identify the sensitive data. Data at the rest should be encrypted. Encrypt all the data in the transit. Plan for the backup and disaster recovery. Make use of the key management and using the Azure Secured Information Protection. Identify the sensitive data. From an operations and compliance perspective, make sure you identify all the sensitive information. This will provide sufficient security to your data. Data at rest and transit should be encrypted. Both the data at the rest and in transit need to be encrypted using modern protocols and stored securely. Encrypting the data is mandatory even if it is not transmitted over the internet. Plan for the backup and disaster recovery. This strategy is a lifesaver in the event of a ransomware or other malware attacks. Azure Security provides backup and disaster recovery plans. Make use of key management. Azure Key Vault maintains your secure data like keys, certifications, and secrets. Using Azure Secured Information Protection. Azure Secured Information Protection gains complete visibility to your sensitive data for safe collaboration and implement controls. By utilizing this feature, you can secure your entire data. Benefit 3. Azure Security features for storage and database. Number 1. Restricting the access for databases and storage systems. This limits the level of access to people, devices, services on your storage blobs and databases by using firewalls and other access controls. Unstructured data is stored in the cloud using blob storage. Auditing. Turning on auditing at Azure databases will gain your visibility modifications in the database. Azure Security Center helps users in auditing the cloud with their tools. Azure SQL in threat detection. With Azure SQL, you can quickly detect vulnerabilities. Log alerts in Azure Monitor. Azure Monitor quickly alerts you with the problems related to your security events. Azure Defender in storage accounts. Azure storage accounts should be tightly secured with the Azure Defender. Retrieve data using the soft deletes. Soft deletes ensures that the data can be recovered for 14 days in the event of user error. Implement Shared Access Signature or SAS. The SAS assists you in implementing the time restrictions on data for client access and granular access controls. Benefit 4. Workloads. A workload is a group of IT resources like virtual machines, apps, data, or appliances that can collectively support certain processes of cloud adoption. Workloads can accommodate many processes. Implement multi-factor authentication or MFA and strong passwords. MFA can reduce threats by using strong passwords and brute force password attacks. Brute force attack is a method of cracking passwords by repeatedly attempting all combinations of letters, numbers, and symbols until you find the right one. Patching your workload is equally important, as even one unpatched vulnerability may lead to a breach. This will reduce risk at your operating system and applications. SoftwareOne is an example of a workload security solution that can help you increase compliance with security rules and policies while lowering the chances of a data breach. Benefit 5. Virtual machine access in Azure. Access to virtual machines is made easier through role-based access control or RBAC and time buildings with just-in-time or JIT in network security groups or NSGs. Azure Firewall, etc. RBAC is a technique for controlling access to the network based on the roles of a specific individuals inside an organization. RBAC guarantees that employees only have access to information that they require and stop them from obtaining information that is irrelevant to them. JIT is access to a portal for a certain duration of time. This will block all the inbound traffic at the network level. Restrict administrative ports. Access to administration portals like the WinRIM, SSH or Secure Shell, RDP or the Remote Desktop Connection, and others should be limited. Network Communication Protocol, called the SSH, allows two computers to communicate. RDP is used by the Microsoft Remote Desktop Connection (RDC) to share data, limiting the workload access. By following the POLP, you can restrict the workloads by using network security groups or NSGs, Azure firewalls, and others as well. Benefit 6. Workloads Zero Trust Policy. Network policies by default should block access except allowing for any special circumstance. Limiting the ports. Exposing workloads or opening ports must be avoided unless there is a need for it. Monitoring the device in Azure. Using the Security Information and Event Management or SIEM and Azure Monitor to monitor and access your workloads and devices can assist you in identifying threats. SIEM technology identifies a threat, compliance, and security incident management by gathering and analyzing security events both real-time as well as in past. Network segmenting. By segmenting the network, you may increase the visibility, manage your networks, and restrict mobility during the events of a breach. Benefit 7. The key components of the Azure Cloud Security are compliance. Let's see how to achieve it. Compliance goals. Decide on data and workloads that fall under the compliance viewpoint. Practice the relevant guidelines and standards like the ISO 27001, PCI DSS, and the HIPAA based on the company. Use Azure Security Center. Azure Security Center provides a unique platform for managing workloads in a secured environment. Here, the workloads are actively monitored by the Azure Security Center for security violations. The inbuilt features of the Security Center in Azure solution promotes automated services as well. Azure Security Benchmark guides you to get progress in compliance. Users can make use of Azure Security Center and benchmark tools to achieve compliance goals. Thank you for watching. Did this video inspire you to advance your career in cloud services? Then let our industry mentors guide you on your journey to becoming a cloud service professional. The Knowledge Academy is the world's largest training provider for courses such as Microsoft Azure Fundamentals AZ900, Microsoft Azure Administrator MAZ 103, and many more. Visit our website to get details about our courses. Get in touch with our consultants. Inquire now.